evening and welcome to Bharat News on Bharat TV. I'm Anjali Swami and here are tonight's top stories. In breaking news, Ukraine launches a bold strike into Russia's Bryansk region using US-supplied ATACMS missiles. In local news, Moscow delivers sharp warnings to Washington over escalating tensions in the Ukraine conflict. Donald Trump confirms plans for mass deportations using military resources. And Vivek Ramaswamy accuses federal agencies of misconduct amid mass reductions. Meanwhile, the Pentagon fails its seventh consecutive audit, raising questions about financial accountability. In Indian news, BJP faces cash for votes allegations ahead of Maharashtra polls. A terrorist associate is arrested in Jammu and Kashmir, and India-China direct flights are set to resume after high-level talks. Additionally, Russian President Vladimir Putin plans an official visit to India soon. Finally, in international news, Russian President Vladimir Putin signs a new doctrine that lowers the threshold for nuclear weapons use. Let's dive into the details. Ukraine has conducted a major escalation in its defense strategy, launching its first US-supplied ATACMS missile strike into Russia's Bryansk region. The missiles, which have a range of 190 miles, targeted key military installations, disrupting Russian supply lines and command centers. The strike comes after the US lifted restrictions on Ukraine's use of long-range weapons, a decision that has drawn sharp condemnation from Moscow. Analysts suggest this marks a significant shift in the conflict's dynamics as Russia vows retaliation, further heightening tensions in the region. The Kremlin has reacted strongly to President Joe Biden's decision to allow Ukraine to strike deep into Russian territory using long-range US missiles. Russian officials, including President Vladimir Putin, have labeled the move as a dangerous provocation, accusing the US of direct involvement in the conflict. Meanwhile, Ukraine has used the opportunity to target critical Russian positions amid reports of increased casualties in areas like Sumy and Odessa, where recent Russian missile strikes killed dozens of civilians. The policy change has divided global opinion, with NATO allies cautiously supporting the decision while Russia warns of severe repercussions. President-elect Donald Trump has announced plans to declare a national emergency to facilitate the largest deportation program in US history. Trump aims to mobilize the military, including the National Guard, to assist in detaining and deporting millions of unauthorized immigrants. Critics have raised concerns over the program's costs, estimated to run into billions, and its potential impact on industries reliant on migrant labor, such as agriculture. Trump's supporters argue the plan is essential for national security, making a bold stance on immigration as he prepares to take office. Entrepreneur and political commentator Vivek Ramaswamy has accused certain federal agencies of deleting records and engaging in misconduct during mass staffing reductions. Speaking at a public forum, Ramaswamy highlighted incendiaries and a lack of accountability in government agencies. calling for urgent reforms. These allegations have reignited debates on transparency in federal operations, with some calling for bipartisan investigations. The Pentagon has failed its seventh audit, with investigators unable to account for 60% of its assets, including significant discrepancies in defense spending. Critics argue the repeated failures highlight systemic issues in how the Department of Defense manages its $850 billion annual budget. Transparency advocates are urging reforms to ensure taxpayer funds are used efficiently, while defense officials stress ongoing efforts to improve financial oversight and asset tracking. Maharashtra heads into elections. The BJP finds itself embroiled in controversy over allegations of distributing cash to sway voters. Opposition parties, including the Congress and NCP, have demanded a thorough investigation, claiming the alleged cash distribution undermines the democratic process. BJP leaders have denied the allegations, accusing rivals of creating distractions ahead of polls. Security forces in Jammu and Kashmir have arrested an individual allegedly linked to terrorist operations in the region. The accused is believed to have been providing logistical support and intelligence to militant groups. The arrest is part of an intensified counterterrorism operation aimed at curbing militant activities and ensuring stability in the region. India and China are set to resume direct flights following discussions between External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. The move is seen as a positive step toward normalizing relations strained by border disputes and geopolitical tensions. Analysts, however, caution that while this is a welcome development, it may not signify broader progress in resolving key bilateral issues. The Kremlin has announced that President Vladimir Putin will visit India in the coming weeks. The visit will focus on enhancing strategic ties between the two nations, particularly in energy, defense, and trade. Putin's trip underscores the importance of India-Russia relations amidst shifting global alliances and heightened geopolitical challenges. In threshold, Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed a controversial new military doctrine that lowers the threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. The doctrine permits the deployment of tactical nuclear arms in scenarios deemed threatening to Russia's sovereignty. This development has sparked international concern, with the analysts warning it could increase the risk of nuclear escalation amid ongoing global conflicts. Western nations have urged restraint, while NATO reviews its strategic policies in light of this alarming shift. This concludes today's news on Bharat TV. For more updates on these stories and others, visit our website or follow us on social media. I'm Anjali Swamy, and we'll see you next time.